Hey, this is Redban, and you're listening to the Death Squad Podcast Network. This episode of Muff Said and all the podcasts that we do at Death Squad can always be found on our website, deathsquad.tv, and on iTunes under Death Squad. Please subscribe to us, and don't forget to rate and review our show on iTunes. It helps us out. I wanted to take a second real quick and do some news, some Death Squad news, because it's been a crazy week, 2 weeks, and a lot of people are freaking out on Twitter, Facebook, message boards, and all that stuff. So I kind of wanted to clear the air. Yes, the Naughty Show has left Death Squad. Sam and me are good friends still. I agree with his decision to leave. Pretty much, the Naughty Show has been here since the beginning. It was the only show left from the very beginning, really, and it recently. This is my opinion, along with I think the overall opinion that Sam might have, and maybe some people online might have. I kind of feel like the Naughty Show has lost its way. It started off, as a certain a group of people. It was kind of smaller, and it had like a theme, but Naughty Show. And then I think recently it's just become, in my opinion, kind of a clusterfuck of things going on. And I also think it's just not the same show anymore. And I think what Sam wants to do is he kind of wants to reboot it. And try it on a different network, trying to maybe make it a little profitable. I know he's been playing with a lot of sponsors lately, and I think maybe he needs to just tighten that up and figure out a way that he can do it and make money from it and help his goals and everything. And I think with Death Squad, he pretty much, ran its course in trying to blow that up. I think I have my own suggestions, but I think Sam will be able to figure that out. And so, good luck with Sam and all that. Also, the Bone Zone has also I have let Bone Zone go for personal reasons. But again, they have a studio, and Randy has set up a studio at his house, and I think they will be just fine doing it on their own. And so, what does that mean for Death Squad? Well, one thing is that now I have more time to focus on the shows we do have, like Pointless with Kevin Pereira, the Ice House Chronicles, Muff Said, Triple X Squad. And bring back some of the shows that have kind of just fallen to the side because of time issues, both with me and with them. Like Brode and Esther, which has always been one of my favorites actually to do. It's just for timing reasons, it was really hard to try to schedule all three of us at the same time. And they both have their own podcasts, so it wasn't like a huge deal. But we did a Brode and Esther today, and it felt great. And we are going to try to do that more often, because I know you guys love Brody and Esther, and they're old school Death Squatters, so that's cool. I also have two projects in the works, and I can talk to you about one of them a little bit. Don Barris and Simply Don01 or 1 on Twitter is going to be bringing his Ding Dong show to Death Squad, and it's going to be live. We're going to try it live from the Comedy Store, and that's going to be interesting, and we'll see how that works. We're still in the beginning stages of figuring that out, and it's going. If you've ever seen the Ding Dong show, and if you watched the one episode of Death Squad that we had the Ding Dong Dongers in studio, that was magical, and that was actually just an appetizer, a taste of what the actual real live show is all about, and I think it's going to be brilliant, and I think you guys are going to love it, and it's probably going to be taking over the Monday spot that the Naughty Show used to be in, and we might actually have two podcasts that night, because I believe we are going to do a Death Squad live show before it, And all of this is still in the beginning stages, but there's going to be big things coming to Monday nights for people that watch it live, and you people that are listening later. I think you guys are you're gonna like what's happening at Death Squad. So the gloomy feeling that you guys might be having, that I've been reading, you know, calm down. You know, everything happens for a reason, and there's always a plethora of friends that I have that I can pull together and introduce you to them. So the other project I'm working on, I don't really want to talk about yet because it's still unknown what's going on with it, but it's with a comic, and it's one of my favorite comics, and I really hope it works out. It's unfortunately something that I've been trying for about 2 years now, or more like a year. Been trying to do this podcast, and just recently we got a little smoke into that fire. So I don't even know if that makes sense, but whatever. Anyways, I pretty much just took over this podcast to tell you all this, and I'm sorry for you people that don't give a fuck and you just want to hear Ryan Keely talk some sexy geek talk, but I had to put it somewhere, right? So anyways, you're going to be seeing more Triple X Squad, maybe to get more of a porn show back onto Death Squad for you people that do enjoy hearing porn stars talk about sexy stuff. Of course, Muff Said is usually every Thursday, and that's still going to be every Thursday, and that's growing, especially with the additions that we've been adding to it of guests that I can geek out with, I guess. And Kevin Pereira hopefully will be starting his weekly show in time to be announced in the next few days. So, big news at Death Squad. Don't worry, everything's fine. I also have some other pilots I might be trying out soon just to see what you guys think. And we're all good. Live from Death Squad Studios here in Pasadena, California for another episode of Muff Said. And now here's that muff that I'm talking about, Ryan Keely.
Hey, I'm so excited to be back. I feel like I haven't been on air in a minute.
It's been a week.
It's
2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Yeah.
2 weeks. A lot's happened. Like, a lot has happened. I went to IndieCade, and Nick Ahrens is going to be on in a little bit to talk about that. That's independent video game convention here in Los Angeles.
How was it? Was it like an E3, or was it a...
No, it was super tiny. It was super, super tiny, but we saw some good stuff. I had Hmong food, or Hmong food, for the first time, which is... you would have loved it. It was all these really beautiful Asian chicks made me like sausage.
Hmongs.
Hmongs, yeah.
Yeah, my friend Si Hang is Hmong.
See, they were saying it there. They were both saying Hmong and Hmong, and it really threw me off because I thought it was Hmong.
Yeah.
But if you get a chance to have Hmong food, the closest place in California is Fresno. I highly recommend it because it's freaking delicious. What else has happened? My zombie apocalypse training I've taken it to the next level, and I have signed up for CERT classes, which everyone can do it, and they are totally free through your local fire department. CERT stands for Certified Community... CERT, Community something or something rescue. Yeah.
So what's that for? Just like mouth-to-mouth resuscitation, shit like that?
It's a 7-week program, and at the end of 7 weeks, like, you learn how to like survive any sort of disaster, because like people were really up in arms about disaster relief not getting to New Orleans for 3 to 5 days. That's actually the national disaster plan, like nationwide. Because the fire department and the police department is going to be completely overwhelmed. So every citizen should know how to take care of themselves for 3 to 5 days in their environment and be fully stocked for that. Like, in an event of a natural disaster, like, you should not expect the cops, the fire department to get there for 3 to 5 days.
Well, I have Arrowhead water. If you need, I had this problem with Arrowhead where I get those big jugs every month, and they somehow like put my account in there twice. So every month they'd be like, "Hey, we're going to drop off water." I'm like, "Dude, you just dropped off 4 of them the other day. I don't need it." So they're like, "All right, we'll cancel it." But then this other account would there was too many accounts, anyways. So now I have 9 jugs of Arrowhead water.
So your house is a good place to go for water.
For water.
Whatever you do not store them on cement floors. Put them on a pallet, because whatever is in cement will break down plastic, and like the water will like leak all over the floor, be totally contaminated before their 5-year shelf life. And you get to learn fun and exciting things like that if you go to become start your CERT training, which is not. Why can't I blank on this? Community. CERT stands for
Certified Emergency
Community Emergency Response Team. And once you get it, you get a nice vest and hat, which will help you interact with local service people in event of a disaster. So if you're in the zombie apocalypse, you'll have an easier time escaping, getting through roadblocks and shit. So yeah, did you see Looper?
This is a studio.
Oh, where's the iPhone?
Right around the corner. We're live right now.
Okay, thank you.
How often does that happen?
I don't know.
We got strangers wandering into the studio. Super crazy. Did you see Looper?
No, I haven't. And I'm really bummed out about it because I heard it's... Well, I have to take that back. I heard from almost every single person it was amazing. And then I said something to my friend. I'm like, everybody has told me this is like the best movie of the year. And then the following day, like 3 people told me that they didn't like it.
I really, really, really liked it, but spoiler alert.
Oh.
I know, people are homos about that. Spoiler alert, it really had a very strong T2 vibe. That's really all I'm saying. It's not that big of a spoiler. I'm watching She-Ra on Netflix.
I'm more excited about Avatar finally being out available on 3D Blu-ray now. So you can actually... It's been not available unless you purchased it for like $200 with this pack of glasses for your 3D TV, like a starter kit. So now it's available for everybody now.
Are the glasses awesome?
Well, I mean, they're just 3D glasses. Like they bundled it, so you couldn't just buy the DVD.
Oh, the eyeglasses, not like
yeah.
I was thinking like clinky glasses.
Yeah, so it's been on eBay for like hundreds of dollars and stuff like that. So it's available on Blu-ray.
Nick Ahrens is making fun of me for thinking that. Let's invite Nick Ahrens into our podcast. Nick has been on the show before. He is probably responsible for the hardest nerd outs the show has ever experienced, and we're happy to have him back.
Yay, super hard nerd outs.
It's going to be
super thick.
Ridiculous. Like I went home and I smoked 3 cigarettes and I haven't smoked since I was 14 years old. So that was crazy. How's it going, guys?
It's good.
There's a puppy in the studio. It's kind of awesome.
I know. I'm really excited that Twix is joining us today.
What's up, buddy?
Twixie Vixen.
I like that she has not only a sparkly collar but also a bandana.
She got her haircut today. I'm not usually dressing my dog up in like bandanas and shit.
Like how many pieces of flair?
She's totally posing for the camera. It's awesome.
I know.
She knows what to do.
Yeah.
She's going to steal the podcast. It's going to happen. I want to ask you, Nick, what do you think about the beer of the week?
The beer of the week.
Or the beer of the show?
It's good. It's got like this crazy like citrus vibe.
Yeah.
And I love that because I love citrusy anything. I like when I get like a glass of water with like a lemon, I ask for like a little dish of lemon. I'm like that asshole at the restaurant. It's like, are you all right? It's like, could I get additional lemons?
Oh, God.
We just lost
Shit
some beer down.
Mine just did the same thing that yours did. I took a sip and it blew up all over my breast.
It does have quite a head on it. We're drinking
Petrus? Is that how you say it? Petrus?
Monk's Cafe's Flemish Sour Ale, also known as Sour Power.
Oh.
Oh wait, are these all different?
I have different. Oh, it's totally 3 different beers in the box.
What did they do? They're confusing me.
Oh, I got Petrus also.
Am I still like?
You guys have
can I-
Petrus?
Yeah.
Let's trade.
Let's trade.
I'm drinking Monk's Cafe Flemish Sour Ale, and I'm going to switch to the Petrus. I like mine better.
Whoa!
This did it
This
too.
has happened to all of us.
All right,
now.
so Petrus is a joke beer. Way to go, Ryan.
I somehow dodged the phone, the laptop, and the brand new gadget to play with later, and got it all over your wonderful carpet.
Well, I guess this is
That's what the dog's for, I guess.
variety of. This is so exciting. Is that I got 2 different types of Belgian sour ales. Sour ale is one of my favorite beers
box?
styles.
Is that the box it came in?
Yeah, it's got some crazy
This box?
artwork. Show that
Yeah.
artwork.
What's that
That's
artwork?
crazy.
It's crazy. Yeah.
It's like some weird, like crazy halftone, like they're almost like that same style they use when you're checking the manual of an airplane, like how to crash in an airplane, how to drink beer.
Yeah. It looks like a Tide box mixed with, I don't know.
A Liechtenstein?
Yeah.
I can't say that word today. Yeah, so I love sour ales because they're similar to one of my other favorite styles, which is a lambic, which is a really traditional style. Most beers are brewed in a sterile environment. Sours and lambics are brewed in an environment that encourages introduction of wild yeast strains and bacteria, which is why they taste really crazy.
So it's free range beer.
It's free range beer.
Yeah.
And it's very unpredictable and can take like months or years to mature. And it's so. I mean, they're beers that live on the edge. I mean, they literally are wild yeast and bacteria strains that make them, and so they all taste so different and they're so diverse.
I think I like yours better. I'm not giving it back.
I like that one better too. No, it's fine. You're the guest.
Okay, good.
You can have the Monk's Cafe.
I was
Sour Ale.
polite once. I'm done.
Did you see Looper, Nick?
I did. I loved it.
Yeah.
Loved it. Okay, so my
By the way, if we're talking about movies, just assume it's a spoiler alert. We won't ruin it for you.
We're not going to ruin it.
Yeah.
I tend to really like sci-fi regardless of what it is. Even if it's bad, I still find a weird appreciation for it. But I really liked it. It was super creative, and they did some nuances with time travel that a lot of movies usually kind of sidestep, which is cool. And, you know, Joseph Gordon-Levitt becoming like the badass actor of Hollywood. I mean, he's in like 70 movies a year now.
Yeah.
Like.
I even saw that really terrible one. Was it
Premium Rush?
Oh my God, so bad.
I didn't see it.
It was.
Isn't him biking around New York with like a bomb?
It's not a bomb, actually. It's even sillier than a bomb. He's got like a ticket he needs to deliver, and it's. I can't tell anymore because it'll be the twist. But the thing is that you can't make bike messaging really all that exciting, even with a tagline like, what is it? Well, no brakes, no gears, no limits, or something ridiculous.
At one point, like in the trailer, he's talking about like fixed gear. I'm like, oh my God, really? You're making a bike messenger movie aimed towards hipsters. Nice work.
Yeah, it was god awful.
Did you guys like Inception?
I
really
loved
liked it.
Inception.
Yeah, that was great.
Did you ever read? I have this thing that I guess this is from some guy wrote it on a message board or something. That pretty much explained Inception really easily.
Ooh.
Here's the paragraph. So you know how everyone thinks that the top is his totem, like the thing that he spins, like the dreidel. But in the beginning, he mentions that it's actually Mal's, like somebody else's totem. That's his totem. Well, you see, it's not his totem. Then it's not going to properly work for him. Cobb's totem is his wedding ring. Whenever he's dreaming, he has a wedding ring on because he says in his dreams they are still together. In reality, he's not wearing a wedding ring. During the last scene of the movie, he's not wearing a ring. Bam, that's reality. So that pretty much explained the end, you know, because you were kind of confused at the end of the movie if that was reality or not.
Right.
I think someone also told me that it was a dream because his kids were wearing the same outfits in each like reiteration of that moment, but I never went back to rewatch it, so they could have been fucking with me.
Yeah, that's a movie to rewatch, I think.
Yeah, I
It
think
is.
so.
Yeah.
I've actually seen it twice, and the first time I saw it was obviously in the theater, and it was explosive and awesome. And the second time I saw it, I had been drinking, and it was really dark, and I was super tired. There wasn't like a single light source anywhere except the TV, so I think it put me in some kind of strange, like Christopher Nolan trance. And, like I have vague memories of watching it again, but I didn't ever pass out or anything like that. So it's definitely a movie you should watch clear-minded, pay attention, and like kind of absorb the storyline because
take notes.
It's a mind fuck. I mean, they're like into your brain that goes into your brain and into its brain and into your dream's brain, and you're like,
it's like playing Myst. You know,
Yeah.
you got to keep track of your progress.
except it's not rage quitty like Myst is. I don't understand where this gear goes, and you just scream and punch your computer.
Yes.
My
I
childhood.
got stuck on Myst with the because we had really crappy speakers, so I couldn't do the last tonal puzzle. And
I could never beat Super Mario Brothers because of that.
What?
The last world 8 or whatever it is, requires being able to hear a little boom because you run through the underground, and if you do it right, it makes a little tone so you know to go to the right thing. And the crappy TV that I played that on was like this shitty black and white like little box TV that was in our basement. And I just got so mad at that game. I was like, it never ends. Like, is this some kind of sick joke? Like, and all my friends were like, yeah, I totally beat it. And I was like, they're all messing with me. This is not possible. Turns out you needed sound. So
Do you guys go to BuzzFeed.com?
Oh, yeah.
I love BuzzFeed,
Yep.
but there's something they had this thing the other day that things that will blow your mind, and one of them was that Mario never used his head on blocks. It was actually his hand.
Fist, yeah.
Yeah, his fist. I never even thought about that, but they show a picture of it where it shows, his fist was actually the thing that was hitting the blocks, not his head.
Oh, when I was a kid, I totally thought it was his head, and
Yeah.
the logic was like lost on me. I was like, why would he do that? It doesn't make any sense. It seems like it would hurt really bad.
Well, he's Italian.
There's actually an awesome article on Game Informer. They a couple covers ago they did the new Mario game, and so they sat down with Miyamoto and the other creator of Mario and just asked him all these questions. But then they had like 15 minutes left, and they just asked him a bunch of like weird balls out questions of like just random shit. Like they're like, it seems like Mario has a lot of occupations. You know, he's been a doctor, a plumber, and all these different things. Like, should he really be practicing medical services on people? And Miyamoto's like, he's probably not qualified to actually be a doctor. So they actually got some really cool answers out of these guys of like just kind of funny stuff like, why is his mustache black but his hair's brown? And he's like, maybe, we don't know. Like they're kind of giving these like kind of like vague but hilarious answers of why things were, because they mostly just like, you know, we're developing this game that was ridiculous and there was like 3 dudes in a room going, what should we do? Like there was no real logic, but the character's been fleshed out to the point where everyone wants like an explanational answer for everything, so they're like, all right, here you go, and
Right.
it's just random.
Yeah, I'm pretty psyched though about that movie. I don't know if you guys have seen the preview for it, Wreck-It Ralph.
Yes.
Which have you seen it, Ryan? Here, you want to take a look at it? It's
Yes.
It's the closest thing to being as excited as when Roger Rabbit came out. But it's
Yes, that's a great
for
analogy.
video
That's
games.
a fantastic analogy.
Are you serious?
Yeah, but like for games and nerds, like
right.
it's,
I'm still not allowed to have the cable, so
All right, this is coming out, I believe, in November. But here's the preview for Wreck-It Ralph.
oh,
My name's Wreck-It Ralph. 30 years I've been doing this.
I can fix it!
It's hard to love your job when no one else seems to like you for doing it.
You're just the bad guy who wrecks the building. I'm okay.
If I'm really honest with myself, it sure must be nice being the good guy.
Ralph, you are bad guy, but this does not mean you're bad guy.
I don't want to be the bad guy anymore.
Ralph abandoned his game.
Welcome to Game Central Station.
Bad guy coming.
Everything changes now.
Where's Ralph?
Sorry, Cubert. It's me, Ralph.
He's fucking cussing right there, by the way, kids.
oh yeah, that's the international sign for swearing.
You want to go pee in your big boy?
And this is not Halo, right? They didn't get the rights for Halo, so they made it like a fake Halo. Is that because I can't figure out who that girl is supposed to be?
I think it's all first-person shooters in one, so it's like science and military and all that.
You hit a guy with glasses. That's well played.
Without Ralph, we're doomed.
They're gonna pull our plug.
What's that?
A medal. I earned it in Hero's Duty. It's not that kind of duty.
I bet you really gotta watch where you step in a game called Hero's Duty.
Sarah Silverman.
We can't change who we are.
You can't mess with the program, Ralph.
Yeah, this movie gives me shivers.
The
this
fact
is incredibly exciting.
they got Zangief into a movie.
Not leaving
Not
you
bad
alone.
guy.
Yeah. The biggest disappointment that I've been reading on the internet, and including myself, was that they didn't get the rights to Mario. Some people are saying it's because it's too expensive, but yet they got Bowser right there. But I wonder what the real reason was. They said they couldn't find a reason to have Mario in the movie.
I mean, it seems like they only licensed villains, quote unquote. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like maybe like Hubert and stuff like that. But I could see there being a case for different characters being more expensive, less
Yeah.
expensive to license.
Or there's a previous deal in place that can't be messed with.
I mean, that also
That's
could be.
probably it. Comes down to some a couple of fine lines of print in a contract somewhere.
I think that's fine, though. I think it's almost more interesting on a creative level for them to take characters like Bowser and Zangief and play with them. It'd almost be too easy to bring in Mario and Mega Man and Samus and all these like superhero like characters. I think the villain stuff's a little bit more funny, anyways.
I was pretty excited that they did bring Sonic, though. That's kind of cool. And you know, if you're a gamer, they do have a Wreck-It Ralph 8-bit video game that's free.
Downloading that right now.
It's actually really fun. And
there's
it's
a cabinet version of this too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's been around for a while. They slipped it into Comic-Con like over a year ago or something like that.
Right.
And they totally did like the sides, and it looks classic like arcade cabinet. And it's this. I think it's the same game though.
Yeah. And it's it's not bad. It reminds me of like they pretty much took a lot from I think Rampage. I would say and maybe a little bit with elevator action. No, not elevator action. Like I don't know. Ice Climber, maybe.
It seems like ice. It could be Ice Climber. It's mostly Rampage though. I haven't actually played it like on the iPhone or anything, but just all the videos I've seen. He's up, side bash in, and get to the top and knock the building down. So I mean, it's a great game to model. I mean, that was one of my favorite games when I was a kid.
Oh yeah,
was Rampage. Do you know Rampage, Ryan? Rampage.
I'm a classic nerd. I read books.
It's a classic game.
Yeah. There's nudity in it.
Rampage is like there actually is nudity. in
the
it.
bathtub.
You can grab like a chick out of the window and like eat her or throw her onto the ground.
Yeah.
It's basically it's like a monster movie game where you get to climb buildings and like wreck them essentially. And you just bash them with your fist, and you jump on, you can stomp on them, and you can be like like a lizard, a giant gorilla, and it's like a giant werewolf. Yeah. And I think there was a fourth character in the arcade version.
It was like an Arctic, like a.
It was a Yeti.
Yeah.
But I remember that was the first game I ever used a turbo button controller on, and you could just bash the shit out of buildings like super fucking fast. It was so awesome.
Yeah, the Turbo Max.
Here we go.
Yeah, there's Rampage. Which.
Yeah, Lizzie, Ralph, and George. That's right.
That's right. But it's pretty much almost the same kind of setup or graphic style, I guess. I don't know what the fuck video I've turned on. What the hell is going on? This must be some.
It's a Rampage walkthrough. Step 1.
I've been
bash buildings.
I've been playing the Wreck-It level on Baggett quite a bit.
Oh,
smashing stuff. I'm still addicted to that game. Problem is, like, when I get into a game and that's all I play until I get bored of it.
It's a good game, and I'm not just biasly saying that. It's a really fun game.
Full disclosure, Nick works for that company.
Yeah, that's our game. But yeah, Baggett's a fun game. I think destruction generally in games is fun. I
love breaking shit.
In Saints Row, like the Saints Row series, they have that like insurance fraud mode where you basically throw yourself in front of cars and just try to get wrecked. And you can like ragdoll yourself out, and it was so fun. You get blasted by a semi-truck, and it's like childish, gleeful excitement when you get hit by a big car and you just watch yourself get shot across the city. And it's such a simple concept, and yet it's just brilliantly fun.
Oh, in Saints Row the Third, they also had the Manapult.
The Manapult.
The Manapult, where you could drive over yourself and like shoot yourself through the air.
Yeah, we showed that on the last episode.
Yes, we did.
Here's Baggett, though. This is I have this game. I played it a lot. Actually, it's really fun.
I can't stop playing this game. I'm so addicted.
Yeah.
I appreciate the love. It's Baggett's a great game. It's for those of you out there who don't know, it's basically it's a Tetris style game where we take an everyday activity like bagging groceries and make it fun, and it's a very accessible game, very family friendly. But the characters have different they have different weights, and you're not going to put a watermelon. Yeah, there's physics to it, but the cool
thing
is,
there's a smashing groceries mode.
Yeah, there's lots of different modes. You can smash groceries. There's puzzle modes. There's general bag it mode, and then there's like an arcade mode called CD's Booty where you it's like kind of like a Bejeweled Blitz style gameplay where you do high speed bagging and like match 3, match 4, match 5. And there's power ups and all that kind of stuff.
You might be a good person to ask this, Mr. Nick Ahrens. I have been wanting to. I'm a huge Top Gear fan, as you guys probably know.
As am I.
It's the best show ever.
It is.
And I want to do something for basically like the Star and the Reasonably Priced Car, but something that's like Muff Said themed. Like I want to have a game that we can have all guests play.
Geometry Wars.
And then start a board.
I think Geometry Wars would be a good one because you just see how long somebody can last playing that game. And it's a very basic, simplistic game, but it's modern, kind of like the Reasonably Priced Car. And then there's a score, and you could do a leaderboard and get like 3 lives. How long can you survive?
Or we could just use the Pac-Man machine that's behind you.
That we could do that.
That's a fantastic idea. There you go, Pac-Man.
But then I would have to keep it plugged in all the time, or to keep the scores
works?
on it.
No,
Oh
I
yeah,
think-
it works.
I think that we should just
Leaderboard
do
it.
like a board on the wall.
Oh yeah.
And build tension when we reveal scores. Like, your score is 7 points. Terrible.
I was thinking something even simpler, like a Bejeweled Blitz or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, something that people haven't really played, because people that have played arcade games since childhood are going to have an advantage.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, I want something that I can just kind of throw at people. So if you have an idea of what should be the video game challenge on Muff Said, please tweet me at Ryan Keely. That's RyanKeely. #Muff Said.
Dragon Slayer.
Oh, man. That would make the podcast like 3 hours long.
Right.
In the best way, though. The game never gets old.
Yeah.
So have you played Magic, Nick?
I've played Magic. This is a sad part of my childhood. I've only played Magic once, and I was in middle school. And I still kind of remember how to play it, but I have not played it since.
Well,
and I
now-
have a ton of Magic cards.
Well, I now have those 5 decks of Magic cards from going to IndieCade with you.
Right.
And I'm trying to decide, like, losing my virginity wasn't that special. I want to make sure that losing my Magic virginity is
Super special. You want to
super
light some
special.
candles,
I want it to be a magical
relax,
experience.
have a glass of wine, and play Magic.
And I think I want to do it with like a group of friends.
I think you should. It's
Sharing.
It's comforting. You're in a safe environment. You can have a safe word like "I don't like this game," and it's better that way.
How long does it take to play?
I have no idea.
Well, it looks like this guy's been playing it since he was 12. And they're at McDonald's.
That was one of my favorite things at Kamikaze was they had the giant Magic tournament.
Yeah, they have those at PAX too, I believe. Like they have the whole like a gaming zone, and it's kind of crazy. I actually just made my first ever D&D character this week.
What?
The guys at work, I've never played Dungeons and Dragons, and the guys at work do they're starting a weekly kind of game mode. Oh, you want in?
Fuck
You
yes!
want to make a character?
Yes!
I don't even have items yet.
I
I'm
used to
like
play this-
I've done an hour of Dungeons and Dragons and I was overwhelmed. And we're playing like first edition rules,
The red
from,
one?
like 1972.
No, you want to do second
red
edition.
box?
Second edition's better.
Second edition. See, I don't know any of this
Yeah,
stuff.
third edition's too crazy. I like second
I
edition.
aptly named my character Rage Quit just in case I get really mad at the game. So I'm a fighter named Rage Quit, and my stats aren't that awesome.
Do they still have graph paper? Or is that how they still do it? Like
We have the guy that's kind of being our DM actually printed out the original like tracking sheets from version 1 from like
Right.
the 70s. He found like a PDF of it online, and we were like using I think his original player guides from when he was a kid. It's
Yeah.
kind of crazy. He's like, no, we'll start version 1. Ryan really wants to play.
I
play.
I used
Okay.
to play that a lot, but what's really cool with Patton Oswalt? Patton Oswalt?
yeah.
All those guys
Huge fan.
meet once a week.
He's like my
and-
dream guest
and
for the
play
show.
Well, like
Dungeons
it's kind
and
of
Dragons.
it's awesome that the nerd generation is kind of growing into their own. Like I read an article that Anson Mount, I think that's his name is. He's the star of that fucking badass Western show Hell on Wheels on AMC. D&D player like every week.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like, and then there's obviously Vin Diesel's very famous.
Anson Mount sounds like a porn name.
It kind of does sound.
It's kinda like the
Anson
best
Mount.
name
I think that's his
ever.
name, Anson Mount.
Yeah, that is Anson Mount. I just looked him up. He's cute. Oh, I don't like
ladies
the
like
bleach hair.
Anson Mount. He's a total he's a fucking total killer badass in this show, and he does like interviews like, yeah, me and my buddies play D&D all week. It's pretty fun. We did that instead of poker. Like it's and then you got I was saying Vin Diesel. I think he wrote the foreword to the D&D 40th anniversary book. He's like that into
Wait,
it.
really?
Oh yeah, you didn't know this?
No.
Huge into D&D. Yeah. And you can look up interviews online where he's freestyle D&Ding with nerd interviewers and stuff like that.
I love that what was cool in Hollywood has completely flipped.
Oh yeah.
Used to be like cocaine and heavy
Yeah,
face
yeah.
and supermodels. No, it's like, let's get together and play some D&D. I got this
D&D.
totally sweet D&D game.
When I was when I worked at Game Informer, we would get all these random requests all the time of kind of people who are just so into games that they want to be involved. Twista. I got emailed multiple times from Twista, and he wanted to submit Street Fighter reviews. He was like, and he was actually a pretty good writer. He was super into it. He's a hardcore fighting guy. And then the band, I don't know if you guys remember, they didn't live very long, but Tantric.
No.
Tantric was this is
I am
kind of
looking
this
them
is
up, though.
music nerd knowledge, but Tantric spun out of Days of the New. I don't know if you remember Days of the New from the mid '90s. They were kind of in that grunge era, and they had they were like a one hit wonder band. But they also repeated me and emailed me repeatedly saying, we want to do a podcast from the tour bus about video games. I was like, interesting, and this is 15 years after they were famous, I think, is at one point or something like that. And I was like, you guys still have a tour bus? Like, wow, impressive. Maybe I should just give you a podcast because you're doing it.
I was at Mel's Diner. Do you know Mel's Diner?
I hate Mel's Diner.
Yeah,
I deeply, profoundly despise Mel's Diner because it's terrible. I've never had anything there that's delicious. Not once.
Chocolate peanut butter milkshake.
It's too bright. I don't like milkshakes. They're too thick.
But I was there last night, and
bright.
I was
that means you're there at 3 a.m.
Right. I was sitting next to Suge Knight, and it's weird sitting next to Suge Knight because you feel like you're going to get shot the whole time. And so, like, every time a car would pull in, like, I'm just like, all right, get ready to jump on the floor and stuff. And I was actually really scared to take a photo of him too, because there's just
I would be. Are you kidding me?
There's this weird thing about him, like this weird
built
energy.
a hell of a reputation of being a scary human being.
Yeah.
So I don't blame you for being scared. Was that at Mel's Diner?
Yeah, this was Mel's Diner last night about 4 a.m.
Did you look at did you get like a burger?
Yeah, he was just eating random shit. He was with some. I better not say that, but all right. But what was crazy is that he had his shades on the whole time.
Oh, of course.
And then we're all like taking our phones out, like acting like we're looking at our phones, but trying to take photos. There was like 5 of us doing it, and he kind of recognized that, I think. Then he takes off his glasses and just stares at us for a second, and then he just eats with his glasses off for the rest of the time, and it was really scary.
No way.
It's like the eyes of Sauron, but totally different.
If
I looked into Suge Knight's eyes.
If he slowly took his glasses off, I probably would have there would have been just like a stream of urine going down my leg.
It'd be like, what's his face from CSI Miami with the Shades of Justice?
Oh, yeah. Yeah! There's a YouTube compilation of that where there's like 40 of them in a row. Yeah.
Can we watch that? We need to watch that.
Yeah!
Wait, what's that guy's name?
Do you think they have to pay royalties every time that happens?
Yeah!
We should have gotten a blanket license, son of a bitch. It's too expensive. Stop making puns.
Miami style.
Here we go.
Aren't they? So
I love that this is just crap for our audio.
Was the mob sent to draw us to the crime scene? Or sent to destroy it?
False stories. Get up and run away.
You do? You've got something to hide. Listen, I don't want you to worry about it. All right? Mr. Coleman? Because I'll be your memory. I don't know.
Some of them don't even make sense.
I know.
Do you think like after like 10 years the writers are they're like copy and pasting from previous scripts?
Well, I think it's the actor that's phoning it in at this point. He's just like relying on gimmicks to get through the day.
I don't know if he was ever acting to begin with in that show. I've watched a couple of CSI Miamis. I had a girlfriend for a while who was obsessed with CSI, so I did some humoring and watched some CSI. I really couldn't take it after a while. I'm not a fan, and I like cop dramas. Like New York Undercover when I was a kid was amazing, but I just couldn't take the CSI series.
Yeah,
it's just genuinely uninteresting to me, especially with like the kind of level of like depth and like grit that TV shows have now. Like, why would you watch CSI when you could watch like The Shield or something like that?
Or Copper,
or the real CSI.
Copper, yeah, Copper's fantastic.
You know, or like the real CSIs, like the real crime dramas.
Like
what's
those.
that 48 hours or
oh yeah, where like
they're
and like you realize like how like it's like that would be such a tense job in real life if you actually do it. Like the weight of the world on your shoulders while you're trying to look for somebody before they go missing missing and presumed dead.
I guess there is no national standards for CSI investigation throughout the country. There's a news story that came out about that. CSI investigators.
Like there's no like oversight.
There's no oversight. There's no standard protocol state to state. Apparently, the whole thing's kind of a mess. Like what you see on TV is A, TV, but B, a fictionalized version of what would be the best environment possible.
One of my best friend's brother is a CSI investigator style person in Orange County. I'm like,
oh wow. I
was like, did you have to do anything? Like, does anything ever happen there? Or
right. How many fake dead boobies have you touched?
Oh man, another like Mercedes is washed up on the shore, and we have to investigate it. That's what goes missing is Mercedes. I figure in Orange County.
Yeah,
I've only been there once, and I was driving through, and I think I stopped at like a gas station. So I have like complete ignorance on Orange County. So my jokes are based off pop culture.
You've only been to Orange County once, really?
Yeah. I think I was driving through it. I wasn't actually like going there either.
Wow.
Newness to LA. I'm hiding behind my newness, Ellie. Newish, 2 years.
Yeah, that's new. New.
Everyone tell me 2 years is new. So
It took me about 3 years to finally know my way around Los Angeles without needing my maps or GPS or whatever.
I still don't know that. It's too fucking big. I still use my GPS for everything almost, unless it's like Hollywood. That's pretty easy.
Always take Fountain. I just discovered about a new road that is like the fountain of it's like the fountain of the East Side. It's called
Franklin?
Temple.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Temple. Yep.
Yeah, it's a good one. Anyway,
2nd Street too.
For people that don't live in the area, we're so the Californians. It's so bad, and I'm so mad that I finally saw that skit because I was just like,
take the 405 to the 105. Yeah.
Well, people here, it's always like every freeway is prefaced with a the.
Yeah, the.
It's the 101.
We were talking about this. I think I went home, and I was my friend picked me up from the airport, and she's like, how do you get to your parents' house? And I was like, oh, take the 62 to the 5, and then you can cross the 7. She's like, what the fuck is wrong with your brain? It was so bad.
It's only freeways are like really important here,
it's
bro.
Only LA. It's like it's the 5. It's probably because the city of Los Angeles has them licensed. So if you want to use the 5 in a movie, you have to pay like a fee. That's probably what it's for.
It probably is.
The 5 TM, you know.
TM.
Yeah.
So I have continued watching She-Ra.
Yeah, we watched the pilot.
We watched the pilot on Netflix.
Super bizarre.
And the bizarreness has continued. I've actually taken to watching it before bed, and it's just weird. It's like this weird amalgamation of like fantasy world with robots, and so they'll have things like magic spells and like closed caption video cameras at the same time.
You're talking about the original She-Ra?
Yeah, it's on Netflix right now.
Really weird.
Yeah,
it's so bizarre.
So like He-Man is
He-Man's like the star.
He's the star. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah,
She-Ra was like a villain.
Yeah, she starts out
as like a lieutenant, and she was like the German
lieutenant.
Well,
she's been brainwashed. Yeah. Spoiler alert: She-Ra was brainwashed, and she didn't know that Adam was her long lost twin brother.
She's a bitch. No,
she just got that Morgan Fairchild look that makes everyone assume that she's a bitch.
She-Ra is the one with Cringer, right? Or no, not Cringer, but Orko. No, Snarf. Snarf? Is it
Snarf is Thundercats, I think.
What am I thinking of? Who's her retarded animal that she has?
There's a bunch of retarded animals.
Yeah, there's so many.
There's a bunch.
Stupid thing with the rainbow ears.
I mean, He-Man has this cat that is just
Cringer.
Completely out of it.
Oh, I just want food, man. Yeah, that rainbow thing. That's who I'm talking about. Her annoying thing's that little rainbow creature.
There's an awesome insight into 80s cartoons. The Voltron DVDs came out, and they did like a ton of interviews with like the original guys and creators and tons of rappers, because rappers love Voltron. And so Voltron is 3 different TV shows mashed together.
Mixed together.
Yeah, and
so is Robotech.
Yeah, but they didn't have any kind of translation system. They didn't have internet or anything like that. So when they would get the tapes, the American writers would just write new storylines based off what they cut.
Right.
And they would just redub all the audio. And in Japan, I think it's Go Lions. They're hyper violent shows.
I know.
Like squish murder, like bloody squish grossness.
I love violence.
It's amazing. And then of course the American version's like super like chill and like it's all about the blazing sword.
Yeah, except when Sven died, and I was really bummed about when Sven died.
I know,
in
and the
episode
princess
2.
took over.
Yeah, what the fuck?
Yeah, it was Sven was the best character.
Why couldn't it have been Paige?
Why'd they kill a character off in a children's show that was completely? You could just replace the voice actor. No one would have noticed.
And who's going to believe Paige is actually a fucking Voltron? Pidge,
yeah.
Pidge, yeah.
It's like a 12-year-old kid driving a massively advanced robot line fighting machine. It's like giving a 9-year-old keys to an M1 Abrams tank in the military.
Yeah, stupid Green Lion.
There's a crazy episode that like I feel like somebody wrote when they were really depressed, where the yellow lion, which is one of the feet, Hunk, would keep falling off of Voltron. So they would form Voltron, and he would fall off like it was broken. It was such a strange storyline. Like I feel like some writer was going through some really tough shit, like really not feeling good about himself, and wrote this episode where the foot keeps falling off of Voltron. It was super weird.
The worst was the car Voltron. Like, why did they even bother with car
vehicle Voltron? They will rename nameless, but we were talking about Voltron one time, a couple friends. And someone popped up and was like, "You talking about vehicle Voltron?" And we all just, no. Why we're not. No, shaking your head in shame.
There was a crossover once where the two...
They fought together or something?
Something like that. Yeah. I could barely remember it, but I remember it blew my mind.
All that Voltron is like a dubstep song. It's all about the build-up, and the drop is when they form Voltron.
Yep.
That's all it was.
Yeah.
It's true.
It is. But Robotech was another one of my favorites, and I found out that also that it had nothing to do with anything.
Yeah, it's mashed together.
And I was like really in love with Mimei back in the days, and so I bought like every single like art book that had to do with Robotech. I bought anything I could find, and then I realized that like the whole story of Mimei and stuff like that had nothing to do with the American version. So now she's probably like this complete jerk the whole time.
Another fun little thing about Voltron, real quick, is that it was the second stereo show ever broadcast.
Really?
So Tonight Show was the first one. I could be wrong about exact second or third, but I think in the DVD they said it was number 2. But they would do like lasers, like pew pew, left right, and I guess people were getting like ill. Like they were watching, so like Japanese anime has already caused seizures. So imagine the flashy animation, but then because they didn't know how to do stereo mixing then, so instead of like mixing like smooth pans between left and right, they would just go discrete left and right.
Yeah,
left,
speaker.
right, pew pew pew, and like kids were getting like nauseous from the flashing lights and like sound effects, and they like parents were like they're getting sick and like vomiting from the show. It's hilarious, and they talk about this DVDs. Highly recommend picking these up. It's a great insight into the 80s cartoon world.
Yeah, I love Voltron. And the new Voltron toys suck ass because they used to be nice and metal. They were like really hardcore, like Matchbox carts.
Yeah, and they would lock together. They would have like a nice, like satisfying lock.
Yeah, I have the original one still, and because I buy everything Voltron on eBay all the time. I'm like a black rapper. But like the new ones.
Do you have the big anniversary kit, by the way?
No, I didn't get that yet. But
it's so expensive, but so awesome.
Yeah, it is too expensive. But the plastic ones just suck.
They do suck
so bad.
They suck, and the paint you like can touch it just comes right off.
Yeah.
Stop outsourcing our jobs.
So did you guys see the space jump?
The what?
Yeah.
The space jump.
I missed it. I didn't get to watch it live. I know. I was so pissed.
I had the best like internet experience ever with the space jump. I woke up and I picked, rolled over, like opened my computer like I do every morning, and I jumped on Twitter and I see that people are tweeting about this space jump, and I click on a link and I go right to it's like right when he jumps, and I go and I'm like watching it
fall out
live streaming on the internet.
Yeah, I didn't watch the third person one yet. The one his helmet.
No,
cam
I haven't seen that either.
Here's the helmet cam version, which
that's insane.
It's totally insane. It's pretty much the most awesome thing ever. And how fast he went! Like breaking, he hit Mach, right?
He wanted to break the time in flight too, but he went too fast.
Yeah.
Like he flew, to break one record, he couldn't break the other because he was flying so damn fast, which is awesome.
I wonder if he gets to do it again.
What if this becomes like the next X Games sport? Like gold medaled in Halo jumping.
I feel like this is going to become like something that you can buy, like Virgin Airlines style,
and
like where you like
they drop you out.
Yeah, where you pay like what $50,000 and you get space jump. It seems very unsafe though, because it seems like you could pass out completely easily and die.
And his landing was ridiculous. I've never seen that good of a landing.
Oh, you're perfect.
Perfect
in
landing.
that suit, that's not like a normal he's not wearing like the normal like jumping spandex. He's wearing a spacesuit.
Yeah.
But I remember watching a video with him where he was saying about how he had to like have a very specific posture. They don't really show it in this video, but I think he was calling it like the fetal position, not like true fetal position, but like the one like you actually in the womb where you just kind of sit there and float.
Right.
And I think that was the key to him not passing out.
T-Rex arms.
He just kind of fell out and was just like T-Rex arms, exactly. Yeah. But I think that was the key to him maintaining, I don't know, sanity, I guess. Did he fall for like 5 minutes or something like that?
Yeah, it was something like 4 minutes or something.
That's insane.
So cool.
Stupid.
I was so pissed at myself. I missed that. I missed the shuttle flying over LA, and I missed the shuttle in the streets. I failed it so hard at like Space Nerd.
Yeah, I caught everything on replays also, but who cares?
It's science. You should care. It's important.
It's not science.
Have you guys ever
ridiculous.
gone to the the Intrepid in New York and seen like the SR-71 and that kind of stuff?
No.
Mm-mm.
It's like the Intrepid is an aircraft carrier, and they have a bunch of cool old airplanes and like kind of aviation history stuff on there. I believe there's an SR-71, which was the fastest airplane ever.
Is that the Blackbird?
Yeah,
one?
the Blackbird. It's like basically the X-Men jet. Yeah.
Yeah, that shit was the bomb as a kid. You'd have posters of that thing on your wall, whatever the thing.
Yeah, it's still
I had posters of Joseph Gordon-Levitt when he was still on
JGL or J Gord.
Yeah, back when he was still on Third Rock from the Sun.
Yeah. I didn't have posters in my room, I don't think. No, I take that back. I had shitty posters in my room because the video store down the street was giving away old movie posters, but I didn't really get to choose. So I had like all these movies I'd never heard of. I think there were some Sam Rockwell movies, which is great because he's awesome. And I think there was random like import like kung fu movies that I'd never seen any of the movies on my wall. So that it didn't make it. I was like just totally faking the funk.
That's awesome. The same way. I worked at a movie theater, so I had every single poster that I could.
But you probably cool ones of like movies that you wanted.
Well, I thought it was cool at the time, but now looking back, I'm like, oh, that's why I never had sex when I was a kid.
I have 7 Broken Arrow posters up.
So speaking of the internet, are either of you guys Fukung junkies? No,
I've only seen it through you.
Okay, so I love Fukung. It was for a long time like you could get everything that you would get on 4chan without having to go to 4chan, which scares me as a lady.
Which is smart to be scared of that website.
You should be scared of Fukung. It's science. And I think that Fukung is broken. And if anyone out there knows why Fukung's recent button isn't refreshing with new content, please.
Is it a picture website? Is that what it is?
It's all pictures. Yeah, just tweet me and let me know what's up.
It's like Reddit photos, but mostly just ridiculous stuff, right?
Yeah, and the thing is that a lot of stuff is on there before it makes it to Reddit. And so it used to be like when I really wanted to scrape the bowels of the internet, I'd go to Fukung. And it's been broken, and I don't know what's going on. It's making me sad.
It's not working for me at all.
And the worst thing is that I want to go to. So I was been watching the presidential debates and playing drinking games. Well, watching the debates, which has been the most enjoyable way to deal with them.
And necessary.
Yeah, like you need to be getting drunk. And what I've been wanting is that if you watch the VP debate with Paul Ryan and Joe Biden, there's so many times that Joe Biden just does the most ridiculous like double takes, and I just want I need gifs of that. I need so many gifs of like every single one of his really silly double takes because they're amazing.
He's amazing.
He's so amazing.
He's such a good person to watch on TV. Like Obama is really good at the like smooth speech, but Joe Biden is just straight real. Like that guy is he's just straight real. And he's like the uncle that comes to the dinner and says the thing that everyone's thinking but no one wants to quite hear type thing.
He's amazing.
He's like, we're all thinking it. Come on, we're all thinking it. Like that's Joe Biden.
So the game that I played for the presidential debates earlier, was that earlier this week? Yeah, it was earlier this week. If you're drinking, you pick a candidate. And if you're drinking to Mitt Romney, every time he says unemployment, Obamacare, small business freedom, Israel, spending, candy as in Crowley, China, Benghazi, or Reagan, you drink. And yeah, we got wasted.
You got wasted quick. Were you drinking beer, wine, or what were you drinking?
I was drinking vodka sodas. And actually, I was Barack Obama. And he actually didn't say a bunch of the stuff that was on the list. But every time I got upset at Mitt Romney, I drank. So it worked out very well.
By the way, from the debates, the binders full of women thing went viral instantly.
Oh, yeah.
And a friend of mine on Facebook.
Nobody puts baby in a binder?
No, he had a conversation. Him and his girlfriend, he posted something, or his girlfriend posted something, and he commented, and she was basically like, I'm going to go as a binder full of women for Halloween. And his first question was, are you going to go as a slutty binder full of women for Halloween? And I was like, I hope that's like the biggest costume. Like people just dress up as giant binders and short skirts. That would be amazing.
Yeah, have you guys decided what you're doing for Halloween? Or
I have zero plans and zero costume ideas.
I always
every year.
Same year. It's always me at the Halloween town 2 hours before a party in this huge line going, all right, I guess I'm going to be the fucking girl from Kick-Ass.
I'll be Peter Pan in a child's outfit. Right. I'm Creepo Peter Pan.
You guys should just borrow some of my costumes. They are all slutty.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, there we go.
I should go as like a slutty male nurse.
I have a nurse costume. I don't know if it'll fit you though. It's from Agent Provocateur.
I don't know what that is, but it's probably not for dudes.
No, it's not for dudes, but that might make it better.
That might make it better. It might be the talk of the town. I've always wanted to go to like a prop house and like 6 months ahead of time reserve a full bear costume, like a movie quality bear costume.
Yeah, I wanted to do that.
That would be badass.
Me too. I've been wanting to go as King Kong for years because all you need is a gorilla costume and a Barbie.
But you know what sucks?
Rampage team.
Yeah, we could be
Rampage for all. No one will get it, but we'll be the best.
I'll be the building, and you two could be climbing all over me. But
only if there's putting.
The bad thing though is I always fuck up and I always forget. Like you never want something on your face at a Halloween
you never do,
because then you can never drink. You're hot. You're sweaty, and then you're always taking off your mask like 5 minutes into the party.
The other thing too about Halloween parties, especially if you go to a house party, is they're awkward because of the sake of the costumes. There's always enough people that have kind of over-encumbrant costumes where you're like sidestepping through and you're like, excuse me, and you have to get like past the guy who's like way a little too creative with his costume. Or you have to get past like the girl that has like a oversized like skirt thing on or something like that. I feel like I run into this every time I go to like a house party in Halloween.
Yeah.
And, you never know who anyone is because they're in costume. You're like, is that you, Dave? No, sorry.
That's good,
sorry,
though.
sorry.
I think that when you have a party with a theme, whether it's Halloween or just having a theme party like a toga party, I think that you up the stakes of the party because people have committed enough to having a good time to actually get in costume and get in an outfit and get to the party. So, like, they're vested in having a great evening. They're like, I've put so much effort in prep that now I have to have a kick-ass party.
That's a good point. The last couple of years, I went as like a guy from Men in Black, which was me putting on my suit and grabbing a prop gun that we had when I was back at 8-Bit and putting on sunglasses. Like, it was just phoning it in.
That's terrible.
It is super terrible. I'm totally admit to my terribleness. Last year, I don't even know what I went as. I think we went to like a Nero concert or something like that, and I was a nerd. I was a 1950s nerd.
Oh.
Yeah.
So you were a hipster.
Yeah. No, I was, probably, but like I had suspenders.
Urkel.
Anytime someone calls me a hipster, I'm like, yeah, probably. Yeah. But I had like the high pants, I had the short sleeve button up white shirt, the skinny tie, the big thick frame glasses, and my hair was more parted than it is now, like gross slicked. Yeah. No, everyone's like that. Everyone's like, wow, Stretch, great, nice work.
I really want to get a new costume, but because I've done feature dancing, I literally have thousands of dollars of costumes.
Sell some to buy a new one.
So I can't. Well, it's.
Don't be a hoarder. Don't be a slutty costume hoarder.
It's not a hoarder. They're for work. They're for when I feature dance. And so this year, I think that I'm going to wear. I think what I'm going to do actually is I think I'm going to go to the West Hollywood Parade because I've never been, and it's the biggest costume event on the West Coast.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
And I think I'm going to wear my sequined rhinestone costume, cowboy costume.
There you go.
Entirely out of sequins.
That'll fit in West Hollywood.
I'll go with you as a Chick-fil-A employee.
I saw that on the internet. There's slutty Chick-fil-A costumes. Also,
really?
There's slutty girl Bert and Ernie costumes, which are really amazing, but I can't get them from Amazon, which means I'm not going to order them.
Yeah.
Wow.
If I don't get the Prime, I won't order it.
Did you notice that Amazon started charging us tax lately?
Yep.
Bummer.
It's done, and I'm in the process of buying a new TV, and I put one in a cart just to see. Sometimes they're like, you have to put it in the cart to see what the price is.
Right.
I looked at the tax, and I was like, "Fuck off! Come on!"
Yeah.
I don't want to pay tax on a $600 item.
This is something I have a big ass TV. I have like a 70-inch TV.
Damn.
And then I have a 3D TV in my bedroom. And then I bought a projector because it was like on Black Friday, and it was just like
you're only
craziest.
one person, right?
Yeah, I know, but I'm stupid.
I understand
nerd.
what he's talking about. I do personally understand this.
I tell you though, man, I have all the shit. This is my first time I ever had like a really good projector. That is the way to go.
It's awesome.
No, I'm never going to get another TV again. I'm only getting projectors. It doesn't take up any space. You can move it around so easy. Like, hey, I want the.
Do you have a house, correct?
I have an apartment.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
But you know, like you can just shine on the wall. You get this paint that you paint the wall with, and you have a projector on your wall, or you get like these.
Oh, did you get the sparkly like reflective paint?
No, I haven't done that yet. But
that's like the key.
Yeah, that's the key to do. Supposedly, yeah. That's somebody just showed me this website to buy the paint, and so I'm going to do that because I just threw away almost everything in my house the other day because I got these new floors, and so now I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to have it on a wall. So like during the day, it looks like there's no TV in my room, but then you can just turn it on, and you're like, oh, there's a big fucking TV.
Video games on projectors are awesome.
Yeah,
like we had back at 8-Bit, we had like a 25-foot projector, and I started playing Skyrim on it. I've been playing games since I could talk, basically, and the first time I've ever been nauseous from a video game in my life. It was like you come out into the Elder Scrolls style like open environment, and just like this big expanse. You're looking around. There's a babbling brook, and they'll like look around. I started going, whoa, this is
too crazy.
This is a little bit too much for me right now. I don't know what I'm gonna do in VR. Hopefully, I can survive the VR world that I hope comes eventually, so I can play video games fully immersed.
And if I could recommend one thing in your TV search, do not buy Samsung. I've owned 3 Samsung TVs, all of them exact same problems, you know, power failure, where they had to replace the power circuits. You go online to like home theater, that home theater website, AV or whatever.
AVS forums.
Yeah, AVS forums. You'll find out that like fucking Samsungs are just fucking pieces of shit.
That's the best place to get advice for buying electronics is the AVS forums. Because those guys, and not only that, but when you get your new TV, those guys will have settings that you can tweak to make it even better. Because these are like guys who use like oscilloscopes to test frequencies on their TV when they get home. Like, I want to make sure the hertz are actually 60, and they're into this kind of stuff. But they know what they're talking about a lot of the time.
But you also find yourself obsessing about it, because when my old Toshiba, like I used to go there every day, and like they had like a forum just for my model of TV.
Oh yeah,
and then
forum.
and then you find out like, there is a little teeny black line on the very bottom, and then you start really going crazy and obsessing about this shit, and then you're never going to be happy.
My current TV, I have like a 7-year-old DLP from Samsung, and it has something called black grass.
I think I'm going to fall asleep. Guys, I love you dearly. I love you both so much.
You got to geek out. Come on.
We could geek out on a new thing.
Yes, let's talk about anything but televisions.
Yeah, I'm excited.
My attention span has been reached.
This just came out on Tuesday. This is a Beats by Dre product to compete with the Jambox, and it's called the Pill, which I think is an homage to Dr. Dre being a
drug addict,
doctor or a drug. It's all in one.
A pill,
but it's just called Pill, and it's like the Jambox, which basically this is a portable battery-powered Bluetooth speaker.
Oh, it's Bluetooth.
Oh, hell yeah.
That's good.
This one is Bluetooth and NFC, near-field communications. So if you have an Android phone that supports that and you want to play music out of this, you just touch your phone to it and it'll just start working.
Oh, that's fucking
pretty
sexy.
Hot.
It's got. I don't know how long battery lasts. So far, it's lasted forever. It's got a speakerphone built in, so if you get a call, it's actually. I tested it last night with my buddy. It's a fantastic speakerphone.
Oh shit!
It's got 4 drivers in it. The Jambox only has 2. It's a heavy plastic thing. Metal magnesium plastic.
Yeah, it feels really solid.
It does feel solid. The one thing I like about the Jambox
quality.
is the Jambox is rubber, so it's like even a little bit more burly.
Right.
But it's heavy. It's durable.
Do you want to touch it?
It's phallic. It's great, and it's also supports if you don't have Bluetooth, you can plug in like a regular iPod. You could plug in your laptop, any of that kind of stuff. But this other,
I'd love to get something to plug my laptop into.
Well, this with a MacBook has Bluetooth, so it would just sync wirelessly. You wouldn't even have to plug it in.
That's perfect.
That's so fucking hot.
Great size. And it sounds
perfect.
good. And here's the other cool thing about this: it actually has an audio output.
Huh.
So you could if you had like a big speaker system at home that was older,
right?
You could do wireless from your phone or your laptop through this.
So you can Bluetooth from your phone to that, then audio output it into your stereo.
Correct.
That's amazing. And it's perfect that you brought that up, because I bought a Sonos. I don't know if you know that lately, and I love it. It's one of my favorite things ever. It was really expensive though. It was like $400.
The whole home system.
Yeah, the thing. It's pretty much a speaker that you control with your phone or your iPad. And you can use your whole music library on your computer or stream, Pandora on it, whatever the fuck you want. And I love it. And I almost bought another one for my bedroom, but I was like looking at the cheaper model. That right there. Well,
$200, same price point as a Jambox.
Oh, perfect.
I've listened to both. The one thing I like about this, like kind of on if you're worried about like what's the difference, they're kind of the same. Is this is a little bit thinner, so it kind of fits into a bag a little bit better.
I'm buying one today.
And then the other thing that's great about this is that you can play it a lot louder without it getting distorted. These small speakers tend to have a tendency to get distorted kind of easily, but if you're like in your kitchen, you're cooking, you really want to jam out, you can actually turn this thing up and it's going to sound pretty good.
You don't understand that. I'm going to buy one right now.
And it sounds like a robot.
Dude, I think I know that the game that we need people to play.
That's it when you turn it on?
Yeah, that's when you turn it off, and then I think when you connect it, it makes a bunch of sounds too. But when you turn it off, that's my phone connecting. So my phone's connected.
Oh, that's so cool.
And then you can also the B button in the middle. You can pause your music. I think you can track forward if you like double tap it. I could be wrong. You can also answer calls. So if you're in the kitchen again cooking, this is totally this is a great little household item, because you're in the kitchen or cooking or something like that. You get a call, your hands are messy. You just tap that button. You're on a speakerphone.
All right, so explain to me, because this is great that you're bringing this up, because I'm a huge Beats headphone guy. Like I've bought every single model. I have this is my favorite. A lot of people don't like this one because it's
the Pros.
Yeah, the Studio Pros. I don't like the ones with the batteries. Never liked that one.
I have those.
I hate it because I don't like the idea of your battery dies, you can't use the headphones.
Yeah,
I don't like that. But now, so Beats and Monster broke up, and Monster now has their own headphones that look like a Gaytron or something like that.
They're like square and weird.
Yeah, they're really weird looking. So the company Beats Have they improved the quality of the headphones? I know they have the almost exact looking ones now with these headphones. They look exactly the same, but I haven't tried them out yet. If there's any difference,
I
between
feel
the
like
two.
I feel like the quality's improved. Maybe it was a thing with the older models, but I always felt like there was a little bit of a muffle sound to a lot of Beats products. Right. But that's not necessarily a bad thing. A lot of people are always obsessed, like, how good is the sound? Is it perfect? Is it perfect? It's like it's good for what you want it for. That's what's really important about buying a pair of headphones. Like if you're listening to a bunch of dubstep and hip hop, get some Beats because it's going to sound fantastic.
Right.
If you're listening to really classic jazz, maybe you want to invest in something different.
Skull Candy.
But I think I think the breakup was good for the company because they've grown, they're in house, they've brought their own R&D, they have their own engineers, and I think that they're growing faster now, and I think the quality of the product is showing. Like something like this, just feeling this, the way this thing feels.
Yeah, it feels
it feels
so
like, because have you ever bought a product and you're like, man,
so like,
it feels
I paid $200 for this? Everyone hates that.
Yeah.
And that's a complaint a lot of people have with the iPhone 5 is that it's super light. I mean, that's just in my opinion, that's also a little bit innovation. Like they've cleaned it up a little bit, but this, like, you feel like, wow. Oh, by the way, when I bought this, like when you pop like an allergy pill out of the packaging, it totally came in packaging like that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you had to pop it out. It was so cool. I was like,
cool.
that was.
And that's available now. So
yeah, it just came out on Tuesday, and they also have new headphones called the Executives, which I think are on par to compete with like a Bose or something like that. Kind of like a more like older dude brand style competitor.
Right. Oh. That's cool.
Yeah. Super fancy. Is anyone reading any comic books?
Mm-mm.
No?
I'm reading book right now. I'm reading a very classic sci-fi, Neuromancer, which is kind of classic sci-fi fiction.
Is that the Gibson one?
No, Gibson did. I can't remember.
I think I've read that.
Let me look up. Maybe it was Gibson.
Man.
Yeah, William Gibson. You're correct. I'm so bad with the author names. 1984. It's great. It's awesome.
It's an amazing book.
It's clearly where like inspiration from like The Matrix and all those movies and Hackers. I mean, all those writers I feel like read this book because it's like cyberpunk origins. It feels like it's pretty cool. And there's like The Matrix.
It is cyberpunk origins. If you look it up on Wikipedia, the first thing that comes up is the 1984 novel by William Gibson, a seminal work in the cyberpunk genre.
Yeah. So it's fantastic. But I finished Preacher. Preacher's awesome.
Preacher is so good.
Yeah.
I'm having a problem because I lend out books all the time. And frequently when I'm drunk, and I cannot remember who I loaned my first 3 issues of Transmetropolitan
Which
to.
you were trying to...
Which I was trying to loan to you. And I'm like, I don't know where they are. I've looked everywhere.
I've subsequently been given those books by somebody else so I can get caught up. Sorry.
Okay. I know you. I know you have other... I
have other dealers. I just gotta have a backup, man.
You know what I started today was Saga, which is amazing. It's so freaking good. I was going to read like 3 pages, and then I curled up in bed and read the entire thing and then took a nap. It's written by Brian K. Vaughan, who is the author of one of my favorite books, Why the Last Man. The art is by Fiona Staples. It's a story of one young family's fight to find their place in the universe. It's star-crossed lovers from very different cultures. He has horns, she has wings, on different sides of a galactic war, chucking it all for love. And it is so beautifully drawn. And there's action, there's adventure. It's not that gory, but there's this totally awesome spider chick.
He also wrote for Lost, it looks like. The TV show. Cool.
Yeah, I can't really
wow, she's something.
Fearsome.
She's got a little laser bopper, she's got a little knife, and a shotgun.
And she's a spider.
Oh, and I thought she had a turkey leg for a second. What is that? What is that last weapon at the bottom there? Is it a bell? I can't tell. I don't know what that is. I thought she was eating like a piece of chicken, which would
I have
hilarious.
no idea what that is.
She just got her backup hand holding a snack.
Yeah. So it's they've got a ghost nanny, and it's really amazing. I've been on in a weird way, it's a lot like She-Ra because it's a weird amalgamation of fantasy and tech. And I don't know. I guess I'm feeling that right now. I was jonesing for like a really good sci-fi comic for a while, and I got this, and then the other thing that we're going to talk about next week.
Are any of the kind of like licensed sci-fi comics any good? Like if they do comics of like Star Trek, Star Wars, like Stargate, all that stuff.
I started
that stuff any good?
I started the Serenity one from Firefly, and I liked the first one. I need to find a source for the rest of them. But when it comes to Firefly, like I will literally read anything. So I think it was amazing. I don't know if it was necessarily that good. I think that you should get an unbiased opinion.
Well, I mean, I'm pretty biased towards sci-fi in general, so I would probably just take your word for it and read it just out of the gate. I would buy. I think Best Buy would put like random like straight to syndication sci-fi shows on DVD for like $13 for a whole season, and I would just buy it sight unseen and watch it. I think I had one called like Star Blazer. Terrible. It was worse than that last Gene Roddenberry show that came out with Kevin Sorbo. What was that show called? Andromeda.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was like worse than that. Andromeda made it like 4 or 5 seasons. I'm probably going to get stoned for saying it's not very good, but it's not very good.
Nick Ahrens.
Hey, I didn't like it.
You're like the arbitrator of nerd taste. I like it.
I didn't like it. If you're going to watch weird sci-fi, watch Farscape. I mean, come on.
It's so weird.
Farscape?
It's so weird.
So good, though. Rockne O'Bana is an underrated writer. He also did Sequest. I don't know if anyone watched Sequest.
No.
Yeah.
But I don't know, I keep stalling with, like, I watch a few episodes of Farscape, and then, like, I just end up in, like, a BBC haze. Like, you know, I was going to watch more Farscape, and then we ended up watching all of Sherlock.
Oh, yeah, we Ryan and I cracked out on the second season of Sherlock. I don't think either of us knew that it was going to take us 4.5 hours.
No, it took us more than 4.5 hours.
Oh,
it took us
there's pausing
5.5
and stuff like that.
So it was like 6 hours, because we watched so each episode's an hour and a half. We watched all 3 episodes. And meanwhile, friend of the show,
good.
Megan Hutchinson, is like, hey,
Come hang out.
Come hang out. We have attractive people that are getting drunk at a bar, and Nick and I are like, we have popcorn and Sherlock. Fuck off.
It was bad. But so good. Have you watched it?
No, I haven't. I'm on this
Netflix.
Voyage of the Mimi thing going on right now.
Wait, what?
I'm watching the Voyage of the Mimi series.
That?
What the hell is that? Explain.
You don't know what Voyage of the Mimi is?
No,
you guys are. That was a joke, but obviously it failed because Voyage of the Mimi was an old show from the early '80s that they made you watch and they made me watch in school for some reason. I had no idea
was
what
it educational?
Why. Yeah, I think it was an educational show.
Is this the one with Ben Affleck?
I think it did have somebody weird in it like that, but I don't know why I brought that
I'm
up.
pulling up IMDb. It does have Ben Affleck.
I just remember it being so intense for like fucking 5th grade or whenever it came out.
It's a series on geography and designed to be used as a visual aid in geography classes.
Yeah.
Okay, is Bill Nye the Science Guy actually educational, or were my science teachers just awesome?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Totally.
Okay.
Yeah. He's gone off his chain in the best way now.
Oh my god, with him bitching about how
good.
it's inappropriate to teach children creationism.
He's like, listen, you can believe it if you want, just don't tell your kids.
Yeah.
He was like pleading with teachers, like, don't do this. It's actually kind of emotional, the video that he made.
Yeah, it's very heartfelt.
I highly suggest watching it because he's a childhood icon for a lot of us.
Yeah, absolutely.
So if you watch this, he hasn't really been in the public too much since the show kind of went off the air, and he kind of came back, and he's kind of on this like almost, it's more political now, I think, is his kick, a lot less educational. And I feel like there's talk of him maybe doing a web show now. I could be wrong about that, which I would watch. I don't care if it's for kids. Bill Nye's the shit.
They do need to bring back Bill Nye the Science Guy. Fuck you, Mitt Romney. Don't take away my PBS. I want Bill Nye the Science Guy, Red Dwarf, and Monty Python reruns at 3 a.m.
Remember Ghost Rider?
Ghost Rider.
It was like a show where like kids solved mysteries with the help of a ghost who would write things.
No.
That was a PBS show.
I loved Bill Nye. Growing up in Seattle, it was called Almost Live, which was Seattle's version of Saturday Night Live. And
like local?
Totally local, and because he's from Seattle, and he stars as Speedwalker, a superhero that fights crime while maintaining strict adherence to the speedwalking gate.
I think Bill Nye was also on Stargate. There's an episode of like Stargate Atlantis or something where he played himself, and he was like the academic nemesis to one of the scientists on Stargate. And it was this like weird, hilarious, awkward moment where he's like, "Damn you, Bill Nye!" And it was like so, and like he just kind of did like a walk-on cameo and then walked off. It was awesome.
Did you guys hear about the Boy Scouts today?
No.
Oh Jesus! There's more than 1,200 files on suspected molesters in the Boy Scouts of America that were made public today.
Ooh.
And revealing from 1960s to 1985, there was just like this huge cover up from the Boy Scouts of America of just
they're
tons
like worse
of
than the Catholic Church.
Oh yeah, and I mean I was a Boy Scout, I was an Eagle Scout, I was a Cub Scout, and now I'm like really digging back in my memories. Like, did I have any cocks in that?
Was this really a problem? I spent a summer working at a Boy Scout camp because all my cousins were in the Boy Scouts, and it was just like a summertime job. I was never actually like official.
Yeah.
But I always had a little bit of a weird vibe because I was already basically an adult when I was working there. I was like 17 years old,
right?
And I always had like a little bit of a strange vibe.
Yeah, in my meetings were at my church. You know,
it's a Christian organization, isn't it?
It was weird. I looking back at it, it was just such a weird thing. You know, how they just had a big group of boys.
I never understood, like, what's with the short shorts? Why aren't you wearing cargo pants? Can't you, like, put shit in the cargo pants? Isn't that, like, utilitarian and, like, useful?
And why weren't you allowed to wear underwear? And what, you know, that was,
like, why am I sleeping next to a grown-up every night?
Yeah. Well, it was bear time.
My grandfather was actually awarded the Silver Beaver, which is a council-level distinguishment service award for the Boy Scouts of America.
The Silver Beaver.
Oh,
it's called the Silver Beaver. Yeah, and it was
that's like past like cougar. That's like the Silver Beaver.
It's the Silver Beaver. Yeah,
that means you molested an Eagle Scout.
Watch out! He's a Silver Beaver. Are there Silver Beaver bars?
Oh.
Okay, I'm done.
Yeah, that's weird though about the Boy Scouts.
It had to happen.
Yeah,
well,
let's be honest.
those outfits are so gay. They have neckerchiefs. Like, you can't claim, you know, and you know, it's whenever any organization is like so anti-gay, you have to be like, okay, you know, there's some boy touching going on. It's like the Catholic Church.
It's Chick-fil-A. You get, I bet there's a lot. The whole thing with molesting employees at the Chick-fil-A, like their kids or something. Because they're so anti-gay. Like all these people,
they're on the corporate level. Some senior executives have made anti-gay statements. Chick-fil-A is a franchise operation across the United States. They're not all adhering. They are adhering to corporate standards in like food and appearance, but
and closing on Sundays to respect little boys' penises, allegedly.
Their like director of PR died of a heart attack from stress.
Really?
Yeah. Happened like right at the height of like all the shit that was going down.
That's kind of awesome.
I mean that to me that's kind of like. It must have really affected that company if that fucking happened.
Well,
Or that guy was like just had heart problems. But my
you
mind
have to wonder, yeah.
Because that's pretty ironic.
Well, it's just the president came and said, or the president or the founder or whatever came out and said something like really off the cuff and really offensive, and you know that he wasn't in any way speaking for a brand.
Well, you know, there was that big story about Toys R Us having toys with lead in them, and then that guy at the Chinese company that manufactured just killed himself. Like he couldn't take the family shame of it being exposed that they were using like these cheap plastics that had lead in them.
Wow,
he just killed himself.
Yeah, I remember that. That was crazy.
That was a while ago. I was reaching back.
I don't want to grow up. So I want to add a segment to the show, Brian Redban, and I need your help. I need your help. We need to pick a cosplay hottie of the week.
Cosplay hottie.
Oh.
Yeah, and I figured you would be the expert.
All right.
Yeah.
Can we start with that Pikachu girl from Comic-Con like 3 years ago?
Oh.
He knows what I'm talking about.
That was the creepiest noise ever.
Are you talking about this girl?
Nope.
No. There's so many cosplays.
Even better, I think. Go to the... She's in there somewhere. I gotta put my glasses on.
So many cosplay Old man. Pikachu. Oh, I like this one. What the hell?
That's fantastic.
That's amazing. For your audio listeners, it's Pikachu with blood all over his face and fangs, and it looked like it ate something.
A headless
kid.
No, scroll back up real quick. It's there somewhere.
This is dangerous.
So what do you guys think about...
Maybe it was her. I can't remember.
I think for the video game that people should play...
Back. Second row to the left.
Oh, this one? Right here?
Yep.
Yeah. That's...
Maybe it's the same girl. I can't remember.
No. Whatever. Yeah. I don't want to get to some creepy goatsy video. Oh, there we go. Pikachu's hot.
Command W. Clear history.
So I think for the game that we should have people play, I think we should play Street Fighter 2 for Super Nintendo. Because that game is awesome because you can sometimes win by mashing buttons.
But how do we quantify this though? Because it's not a score. Is there a score in Street Fighter 2? Actually, there might be a score.
Well, I think you just beat the other person.
Oh, you beat the other person, you can play the computer.
That's true.
Yeah.
Who was your character? I was always Chun-Li.
Of course you were, because you've talked about this. You're a video game transsexual.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I am.
I was. I I've become a video game transsexual. I play girls now when there's an option.
Yeah,
it's more
always
interesting.
play
But I
girls.
was always a Dalsim or E Honda because they were just cheap asses and I could win. I was not good at Street Fighter.
Really?
No, I was good at Mortal Kombat.
How can you not be good at Street Fighter?
Because I played Mortal Kombat. I would play like Nightwolf. I could just murder people with Nightwolf. I had like a 12-hit combo that was like 60% health. It was awesome. But Street Fighter, I don't know why. I just was
All
not
those
good
games
at it.
were button mashing. I never learned. I knew like one move in Street Fighter was like the kick thing, or you just kept on doing kick for Chun-Li, and it was like,
Oh yeah, it was the same thing with E Honda. He did his like I think like 100 palms or 1,000 palms or something like that, and I just wouldn't stop.
I always
My friends
played
made me.
Blanca or Dollism.
Blanca was
Beast with the electrical
Yeah,
charge,
he was-
and then Dollism has the super long reach.
Yeah, and that's why he was cheap too, because he never had to get hit, and you could just punch people.
Yeah.
Their Street Fighter 2 is on Congregate right now. It's playable with
Yeah.
keyboard. That's gonna be terrible.
I am so mad that my Super Nintendo finally died. Like, I am just... You were there when I finally threw it out. That
and
was...
then you threw it in the garbage, and I was like, whoa, whoa.
calm down.
I was like, what do I do with this? You said throw it away. So I
I
threw
didn't
it
mean
away.
like just. Yeah, have to
You
get
told
this-
me. I'd been holding on to it broken.
I meant like
and
we'd like ceremoniously like.
you were the one
let
that
it go.
told me. I've been I've been schlepping
Oh, you
around
need
that
a new
broken
one.
Super Nintendo for so long.
It was like, and you know how like the old consoles would like dye themselves different colors over time.
Yeah.
That console was like a weird like burgundy
Yellow?
red. That thing
weird.
was old. Yeah. It was
Well,
mostly from those plastics were super sensitive to smoke. So
Yeah.
if there was smoke in the household, they would just burn real quick.
Well, you could get one of those all-in-one ones now. They make those cheap ones where it's like
Yobos.
an NES, with
Yeah,
Super
Yobo.
Nintendo.
It's like
What's it called?
YOLO, but for games.
Yobo?
Yobo.
Yobo.
You got the 2-in-1. They're like $30 too.
Yeah.
And they work every time. That's the key.
I don't want one
And
of
they're better.
those.
Yeah, like here's one on Amazon right now where it's. I mean, you could buy them on eBay, but you can just buy one of these, and a lot of them are even better because they have better connectors.
Yeah.
They have better. Like even some of them have wireless controllers now. So
And
don't
you
have
can play
don't
Nintendo
know
games
that.
with a Super Nintendo controller.
Yeah.
One of the greatest controllers of all time. You look upset about this. You want it to be legit.
Well,
There's something nice about that.
I
agree.
loved my Super Nintendo first. My Super Nintendo was my first gaming console. Actually, no, that's a lie. I used to play my best friend's brother's Nintendo back when I used to play Bubble Bobble,
Oh,
which
what
is
a good game.
the game that never ends.
Oh yeah, It's a
Never
great puzzle game.
ends.
Great puzzle game.
Never ends. So I played that, and then I grew up playing Super Nintendo, and I liked Street Fighter 2 because it was the only thing that you can win just by mashing buttons.
Yeah, button mashers. I mean, that was.
That's my thing.
I don't. I'm kind of looking back on it now, especially since we at 8-Bit would work with the Street Fighter community so much. I kind of bummed I didn't play it as much as I did as a kid.
See, I can get a Super Nintendo from this guy, Nintendo Dan, in San Diego,
Right.
which is where I actually bought my last Super Nintendo from. But I have to go to San Diego. But
You can find there's the Game Dude in the Valley. You go to the Game Dude.
Yeah. Did you ever have a Texas Instruments TG16 or whatever it's called?
No.
It used to be a computer that you could play video games in. And one of my favorite games was this game called Parsec. And it was at the time way ahead of its time.
Oh, it's like a early Gradius.
Yeah, exactly. It's like early Gradius. But it was cool because if the Texas
sound. Like there's a voice.
Love that sound.
It was crazy.
And it also it was one of those computers that had cassettes.
Oh,
games
yeah.
on cassettes and stuff like that.
So the magnetic tape that you're playing off of.
Yeah.
I really want to someday find a like mint condition Vectrix. They're really expensive. I think they push into the thousands of dollars, if you're lucky if you can find more than like 2 games for them, but they look so cool. The industrial design of them are fantastic. They're like black on or white on black single like controller wired into the TV. Like the Vectrix came with the TV, which was crazy.
Right.
It wasn't like a console you plugged in. It was just like a giant unit. I don't think you could do anything else on that monitor. I don't think you could like watch TV on it or anything.
No, I don't think you can
it was
either.
just the Vectrix.
That Amazon about 6 months ago they found a warehouse full of Dreamcasts, and they were selling them on Amazon for $40, brand new, unopened.
What?
Yeah, and it lasted about 2 weeks. I bought one, but now that you can get a new one for $200 on Amazon. But that was another console that I was addicted to because it was the first time using like AOL chat rooms and not torrents, but like you could get every single game, download it, burn it on a CD-ROM. You would have an emulator. You put it in
no
there.
copyright protection.
No copyright
None at all.
protection. Had every single video game Dreamcast made, every single Japanese game. I still have them somewhere, but
There's a kid in my high school that bought a brand new car selling hacked Dreamcast games to the high school. I went to school with like 2,000 people, it's like 4,000. A huge high school system where I grew up, and he just was running it. He never got caught, never got in trouble, and one day he just rolls up in this nice new car. I'm like, what? I don't think he bought it outright, but he had enough to do like a down payment and secure a brand new car in high school from selling
crazy.
like hacked games.
What is that kid doing now? That's what I want to know.
I have no idea. I don't even remember his name.
Like running the universe?
Yeah, he's either running the universe or still selling hacked Dreamcast games to kids at high school in that same car, like out of the back. But yeah, you just had like a little boot disc, I think. And
yeah, it was a boot disc.
Up and you could like play import stories. I remember MSR, which eventually became it was Metropolis Street Racer, which they turned into Project Gotham.
Right.
I don't think that ever released officially in the United States. I remember playing that. It was like a rad game.
Yeah.
And the Dreamcast, I would play so much Quake 3 online. Oh, so awesome.
Yeah, I had the modem. I had the all the little accessories. Remember the modem that you could? It was like the first. I think it was the first console you could connect to the internet. They had like Phantasy Star.
In that way, yeah. 'Cause there was SegaNet. Remember, or Sega TV or Sega Online or something like that.
Right.
And then I can't remember the name of it, but there was another service that would allow you to connect like any console online, and it did like these packet sends, and you could totally play games online.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I find out what that is. One of my coworkers, Charlie, had it, and it was I think like every game worked or something like that.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy. We were coming up on time, so I'm going to delve into the infinite list of questions. And if you have a question for the infinite list of questions, tweet me at Ryan Keely, that's RyanKeely, #Muff Said, with a question that is applicable to most people.
And who was the band that we opened up with, and what was the song the other song?
I want to hear the...
Solid Gold is the band. Yeah.
Yes, and the Danger Zone cover.
Okay.
It's a great band from
When is
Minneapolis.
Archer going to be back on?
I don't know.
When? I want more Archer. I say too about Danger Zone, I just think about Archer.
This cover, by the way, is one of the probably greatest 80s covers of all time.
All right.
It's fantastic.
So while we're talking about that, Nick, who was the first person Nick Ahrens,
Mm-hmm.
who was the first person you held hands with?
There was a cute little redhead in my daycare named Megan. She's also my first kiss. I was at least 6 years old. Yeah.
Were you kind of
young.
like a man about town in your daycare?
I think I was, actually. Man, I got in a lot of trouble in that place, too. Hazel's, her name was. It was a great daycare. She had like 12 acres of land, and she didn't give a shit. She just let people just run around and get hurt and stuff. It was great. Yeah.
What was the most dangerous thing on there?
I almost poked my actual eyeball out, just running into a tree. I remember running like a quarter mile back to the house, just screaming like, ah! Really turned out that I just kind of scratched it like a tiny bit, but when you're a kid, it's like the end of the world.
Truly terrifying.
Truly terrifying.
One more question. What Muppet do you identify with the most?
Oh, man, that's a good... I am Swedish, so that's a good choice, and I love the Swedish Chef. He used to throw his cereal. That was the greatest thing. Like, that was the greatest advertising of all time, having a character throw his cereal like happily into the air. Hardy. Ralph, maybe? Yeah, because he's just ridiculous and fun and furry, and he's a dog. Yeah. I want
and he has that great song. I love that song from the Muppet movie.
I don't remember what song.
Oh my gosh, I actually have the soundtrack for the Muppet movie somewhere. Ralph the Dog, Muppet movie.
Yeah, I would say Ralph, though. I don't know the characters.
Hope
super
that
well.
something better comes along.
I know like the famous ones. I also like that shrimp.
Yeah,
he's cool.
Shrimp was cool. Hey.
Yeah, like I like. I don't know if I'm like him, but I'm just gonna pick him. He's just cool.
You're deeply fond of the shrimp.
I like the shrimp. He's just a little badass.
Awesome. Yeah. And people can find you where?
Twitter, Robot Pants at Robot Pants. I have not updated my site in a million years, so I'm not gonna put that out there. And you can. What's that?
I said, what game should people buy to support you?
Bag It. Hidden Variable Studios, where I work, is we have our game Bag It, and it's super fun. Promise everyone a good time, nice and cheap, and you get what you pay for. Definitely, you get a lot of bang for your buck. I played this before I actually worked for the company, so I truly.
We've talked about it like at least 3 times on the show. Yeah. I'm super addicted. It's a great game.
Yeah, we're now Baggets.
Yeah.
Shut up. I just need to play more games. I am Ryan Keely. You can find me on the Twitter. That's at Ryan Keely, RyanKeely. And I'm going to let Brian Redban take it away.
Yeah, and Death Squad's coming to Ohio. We have an Ohio tour we just put on sale today. Cincinnati and a second Columbus show, but we'll be there in November, and all the dates and tickets are on DeathSquad.tv. And that's it, guys.
Next week, rumor has it that Daniel Gillies from the Vampire Diaries might be here. It's either going to be him or Bob Layton finally. So make sure to tune in next week because it's going to be amazing.
All right. See you guys.